Now, this is part two, basically beefing up the whole Zenaida Gonzalez, Xanax, babysitter theory. Now, you gotta really think back. You gotta go back to the world Casey Anthony was in at the time this was happening, and how 31 days could have went by with, with her behaving the way she was behaving. Now, you gotta look at it and think of it this way. Going back to her time, you got to remember, society did not like illegal immigrants. There were stories about illegal immigrants coming to the United States, from South America, kidnapping people, all sorts of things. Now, if you understand and you think about, okay, an illegal immigrant, that means there's going to be no documentation. Is Casey Anthony, is it plausible that she could have had an illegal immigrant um, babysitter by the name of Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, and I love how she has middle names, but for everyone. But is that crazy to have an illegal immigrant babysitter? Aren't there Americans right now with illegal immigrant babysitters? Is it that outlandish to think that she could have stolen her baby and went back to somewhere? It, that was actually that is actually a plausible theory. So I think that she just made the name up because once her mom confronted her and says, "Who's Zanny?" Because remember, her mom doesn't understand that Zanny is a drug term for Xanax. She went with the lie, and it was easy to do. Her mom, was just saying, where, who, and she just made up Gonzalez, just like how someone would say John Smith. The first thing that she could have thought of was Gonzalez, and because of what I said earlier with the whole illegal, I don't think she thought of it right then and there, but I think as time went on, because she just kept it as Zanny. And going back to the term Zanny, Zanny is a term of endearment. If this was a real person, you would only call it, refer to a person like that if you know him for a while, especially if her true name is Zenaida. Okay, that's Casey saying. Okay, and being that this woman did not exist, it gives you that theory that, what, term of endearment would be used with somebody that you know or you're close to. Must be that you must be referring to something else. Also, when you think about the chloroform, you add it in there. It works out. It's actually a plausible theory that this babysitter took her back to wherever, and now nobody could find it. But the problem was they found the child. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier about it could have been an accident or it could have been malice. Who knows? Why 31 days? Think about it. This accident occurred, or you did it. Day one goes by. And I think more it's probably an accident, but day one goes by. You think nothing happens. No one says anything. Nobody's really looking. You don't want to talk about it. It's sort of like Tara, in Gone with the Wind, when she's always saying, "Oh, I'll deal with it tomorrow," whatever her name was. But day one goes by. Nothing happens. She's still not in trouble. My goodness, she's a little bit worried. Maybe she was drugging the kid, plus, using chloroform. She knows, she understands CSI. She sees TV. She understands that they would be able to do an autopsy and figure it out. So she's dealing with this pressure, okay? But the fact that even though it may have been an accident, the fact that she was doing something wrong in that process probably discouraged her from coming forward with this. Now, if you go ahead, day two goes by, still nothing happens. She's not in trouble, whatnot. I don't know when the Zenaida comes in, but it goes on and on and on. The next day becomes the next day. Nothing happens, and now it's been 5 days. And now you think, you know what? Maybe I should have gone and said something. But who's gonna believe that I did this? This was an accident when I waited 5 days. So now, so you get into these battles in your mind, and 5 becomes 6, becomes 7, and now you're basically doubling down, because now it's been 10 days. You're definitely not going to be able to tell the story. Oh, this was an accident, and so on and so forth. Especially when they do the testing and they see whatever. Now, so I could see the 31 days. If you look at the tapes that the jail tapes, you can see you can kind of see her bodily reactions when she's talking about the story and she's saying that she's still alive. And you can see when her dad comes in and specifically says stuff like, oh, we're in this together. We're part of this new club. And, when you get out, we're going to work to find missing kids and so on. You can hear her heavy sighs like, oh, that's great. That, like, she's still, like, going on that lie. And, like, she sees that her parents are a little bit comforted and, she feels that this is all the hope that they have to hold on to. And she's dealing with, breaking the news. And with all these people getting involved and all these efforts happening, that lie that you just presented, it's like, man, it gets out of control. And you stay with it. Now, I mean, is it that crazy for someone, like her to be giving her kids Xanax? I mean, United States, I mean, let's look at ourselves as a country. Every other commercial is a pill commercial. Some medicine, and there's an expression, there's a pill for everything. It is not unheard of for parents to give their children aspirins and Tylenols, and it's not meant for, I'm not trying to, make an excuse, but I'm just saying, is it that crazy for a mother to give her kid Xanax? In a society that puts that sort of thing, is it possible she might have been abusing the drug and under its influence and clouded and so on? And I kind of think that she was, because if you look at the jail tapes, going back to jail tapes again, and behavior, it seems that she was well concerned about herself in the beginning. And when you take these things, it takes time to get out of your system. She's in there. And what makes me think so is because when they found the body, there was a news report, I don't know if it's true or not, that she requested medication, some sort of anxiety medication. I wonder what it was. Who knows? Who knows? But that's what she requested. And that lets me know, why would you, I mean, if I wouldn't request something like that. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not her. But that made me think that. So if you look at the jail tapes, you see towards after about a month, you start seeing some real emotion that's not self-centered. You start seeing like reality set in for this girl. I mean, she probably went through detox during that time. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's why she's growing out her hair. Who knows? But you could probably check and look to see if it's there. If she was an abuser, it would show up. I don't know if that's. But I think it's not too late for Casey to tell the truth. I'm saying the jury, might not, they might not sentence her to death if this is really what happened and it was really an accident. And, the jail tapes show how much Casey's parents love her. I doubt the jury's going to give her death if she comes clean, tells it was an accident. But this Roy Crowd, I mean, it's the taking the body and finding this and manipulation and all that other, the sexual abuse, it's just might be too much.